Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
But something has recently come to my attention that I wanted to talk to the Commissioners Court about. And on January 28th, a friend of mine sent me an email that had a link to a news article that was published and aired on WFAA in Dallas. And it was from the PepsiCo company, and they have this great idea that they would like to rename Do Texas to Hard Do Texas in advertising for a new product that they have. And they want to cite 4 perks for our community. A must-stop spot with a giant Mountain Dew can on I-45, a roadside attraction. We would have all kinds of tourists coming here for that. And a locals-only happy hour at the local watering hole. And we haven't figured out whose watering hole that is. I don't know if it's your tank or my tank, but we're not sure we want that. And especially with our electric bills lately, who's going to have the fridge for that? You know, we got to pay for that. The other thing is a community enhancement fund that could maybe fund something like a new sign. Well, we got a great sign to do, and I don't think we need it. That's just my opinion. So it went on to say that they were putting a petition on change.org, and if they got 10,000 signatures by February 28th, it would come before the local governing body. Guess who that is? You guys.
And that's 10,000 within the boundaries
No,
of the deed.
no, it's just anybody in the whole wide world can sign this petition.
That's what they said.
So I thought that was a little suspicious. However, it's what it says. And if it's on the internet, you have to believe them.
Yes, you're so right.
That day I looked and there were 27 signatures, so I wasn't real concerned. But 2 days later I looked and there were 125. So I thought, oh, you know, this could be something. So I kept watching that. And the next time I was at church, at the Dew Methodist Church, this was brought up during prayers and concerns of our service. There were 12 people in attendance that day, and all of them were very vocal being against this idea. So we talked about the fact that maybe somebody should come and talk about this. Because we want to make sure that if y'all are making the decision, that you might know that there were people there that didn't want it. Well, how do we know that you know that we don't like it? Unless we tell you. So we decided that, you know, we were going to make a phone call or do something. And I said, well, I'm just going to go right on up there and talk to them about that. So it's still a topic of conversation at the Dew Methodist Church. The second week we had 21 people and they were all still against it. So I just want to make sure, because, you know, we've recently had a name change, the Gulf of America, and I don't want that sort of thing to happen to Do Texas. So most of the people that I have talked to in Do and through social media, they've been really vehemently against this, with the exception of a couple who are very surprising because they thought maybe we could use the revenue to fund some fire department things and some school things, and you know, I can kind of understand that, but still, we don't really want our little community to be hard Do Texas. So that is our opinion, and I think that Mr. Lane, you could probably talked to some people around, and I think you'll find the same thing from your
When I have
constituents.
multiple, in excess of 100 phone calls.
Oh, good. I'm
Nobody-
glad. I kind of started that. I'm sorry
Not
that's
even that we
bothering me.
seek people out, we just get
Yeah.
information.
So,
And multiple reporters, which I never gave a statement to.
No, they texted me too.
Yeah.
I didn't know what they was talking
well,
about.
you know, you're pretty close to do. So anyway, I wanted to make sure that you guys knew that my opinion, because I'm sure it counts for something, is, you know, that we would not like to have this. And that I can't speak for everyone in Duke, of course, but the vast majority of the people I talk to are so against this. So I appreciate your time and your attention to that.
And just so
Thank
you
you
know,
for coming today. You're welcome.
the president of the school board called and said that all the school board members were against. And then the Korean church right down the road from y'all, their congregation is against it as well. And at this time, no one with the corporation has reached out to the county that I know of. No, it's just all been PR stuff.
I figured that was the case, however.
I'm aware of no petition process allowed them to do that.
Well, I think if you do a petition, it has to be
Within the
members
gut-
within the area that is considered,
Right.
that
Sure.
would be considered due. That's
Well, that
why I
makes
said
sense.
not within
That
the.
makes sense, but I'm not a legal expert.
I think we were all contacted by that news media.
Yeah.
People,
I never did
you know,
that.
they called, but I didn't know what they were talking about. And I said, you know, I got friends that took it due, and I said, I don't want it, so.
And we can't do too much discussion since it is just in comments, but those were the public comments that we have heard also. So,
Well, thank you.
but thank you for coming. It's nice to have something pleasant to talk about in the morning. Anyone else? All right, if not, then we will move to item number 1, which is to approve the minutes of the February regular meeting. Any discussion on those?
We've determined no changes on our number 12.
February.
Have a second, all in favor, aye. Motion carries. Budget transfers and amendments. We have a few.
Y'all should have an amendment and a certification in there for the $1,000 that we accepted last week for Cal Pine for the Sheriff's Department.
Any discussion? If not, do we have a motion to approve the budget transfers and amendments and the certification of Alpine donation?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Any opposed? None, motion carried. At this time, the payroll usually takes a little while on these others. If we go on down and do, Mike's public hearing information, get those moving. Go to number 9, a public hearing on the matter of the proposed designation of certain property in unincorporated Freestone County as a reinvestment zone under Chapter C, Subchapter C, Chapter 312 of the Texas Property Tax Code. This designation will allow for tax abatement agreements to be entered into by the county with owners of property within the reinvestment zone. The zone will be designated as reinvestment zone 2A. What time is it? 9:14. We will open the public hearing.
And to start out, to give some background, people asked about. This is, actually, we have an existing reinvestment zone 2, and it's for Core Land Holdings 1 LLC. They've come back and they want to expand that reinvestment zone, so we have to create a new reinvestment zone. So I just put it with 2A. And it's not gonna change the size of the project. And the project is still a 300 megawatt solar generation facility with additional 100 megawatt battery energy storage system. It just adds about 1,400 acres to its site. Projected capital investment is still $416,500,000. The yearly pilot is still $422,000. It's supposed to be done by December 31st, 2027. The name is changing to Pidera Solar LLC from Core. So in the tax abatement agreement, the proposed tax abatement agreement that we have today, you'll see it says Pidera Solar LLC, formerly known as. Okay. So the purpose of this meeting today is to approve the reinvestment zone 2A, which is that addition of land. Now, because they were back when we didn't charge a upfront fee, but we have, when people come back and change their agreements, been catching them up on that fee. So I put a $10,000 upfront fee. Of course, it's paid up front, it's non-refundable. But if the project does make, it's a credit against the first year's pilot. But you get the use of $10,000 anyway. So that's what this first one's about.
So on this one, Mike, it goes, on the spreadsheet, it's 351 billion, so it goes to 419, is that what you said?
No, it's always been 416,500,000. The size, the value of the agreements and that stuff haven't changed. What has changed is they went from 1,979 acres to, they're adding 1,400.
They're adding that much acreage and they're not adding more.
Nothing else to the pile.
They're
I know some of that's in a flood zone, I know, he sent me the updated map, but I was just curious there.
I think that it's for possible future expansion. I think they need it, one, to make sure they can staging areas and stuff like that, but I think there's also the idea that possible future expansion of what they already have.
Any other public?
So on that projected capital investment, that number is supposed to be 416 million?
416,500,000.
416.
Well, why did she have this in
We got
here?
351 on our spreadsheet.
That's Core Solar.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, wrong one put in, 351 million.
Okay. But it's gonna stay at 351.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there'll be no 2. 2 just cancels out and it's 2A.
No, 2 will still be there. 2A will be with it.
Two separate ones.
Yeah, because you have to create a separate investment zone, but they'll be used in conjunction with each other.
Or a separate line.
I think that mine, in the original, said 351. She must have done that. She makes me a cheat sheet, but that would be a good issue sometimes.
Let's use the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Because we have a tough time keeping them all straight. That's great. Yeah, perfect.
But the yearly pilot is 422.
Any other questions? Or just comments? If not, then we will close the public hearing at 9:20. And we will go to item number 10, which is discussion, consideration, and action on the creation and designation of county reinvestment zone made as subject to the public hearing as county reinvestment zone number 2A. We've already had discussion, so are we ready for action? Okay.
I'm glad it happened. Get 10,000 up front, whether we get it or not, so I'll make the motion. We create reinvestment zone 2A.
I say,
All in favor, aye. Any opposed? None, motion carried. Item number 11 is discussion, consideration, and action on proposed form of the tax abatement agreement with Piedra Solar LLC and directed to the county judge to send notice of intent to enter the proposed tax abatement agreement to other taxing entities having taxing authority with regard to the property.
I've given you a copy of the proposed tax abatement agreement. Again, at this point, we just approve a proposed form of the tax abatement agreement. Then I have to put in a 30-day notice on the bulletin board. And after that 30 days, we can actually approve the tax abatement agreement. And that also gives time for any negotiations to take place. If after they read it, they think, well, we usually have some things that we have to clarify or whatever. The agreement stays essentially the same, other than to add the new acreage. And also, since it's a labor agreement on the roadies agreement, it includes our change to require cash deposit instead of letter credit, your cash deposit. So for the financial assurance on the roads. So, staff's recommendation is that the proposed form of the tax statement agreement be approved.
Now, at this time, do we need to send those notices to the tax authorities?
Yes, you need to send a copy of the tax proposed to the,
Just a copy of the whole thing, or are you giving us what we need to see?
I think it's easy just to send them a copy of the whole thing, it's just a cover letter that says this is something that the commissioner court is considering.
We'll add it to the spreadsheet.
Yes, in fact, I've got some of the columns hid, anyway, I've got the 100,000, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, well,
Because some of the abatements, or most of them, it's either 100,000 letter of credit or 100,000 with the treasurer. Is that what you're talking about, Mike?
Right, and then we changed it, we talked about it and changed it for going forward.
So from here going forward, we're gonna do just hold the 100,000 with the treasurer?
Right.
Okay.
Make a motion that we send a notice of intent to taxing entities.
And approve the proposed tax abatement, proposed form of tax abatement.
Proposed form of agreement with the ed. That's the first one. And then we send notice of yes.
I second this motion.
Aye. Motion carried. Item number 12 is a public hearing on the matter of the proposed designation of such property in unincorporated Freestone County as a reinvestment zone under Chapter C, Subchapter C, Chapter 312 of the Texas Property Code. This designation will allow for tax abatement agreements to be entered into by the county with owners of the property within the reinvestment zone for tax abatement agreement. These zones will be designated as Zone 9. And what time is it? 9:25. 9:25. We are opening the public hearing for
Van Prairie ESS is the solar. This project is a 200 megawatt battery energy storage system and all related equipment. The land for it is approximately 36.85 acres. It'll be designated as zone number 9. It's within the TISD. Projected capital investment of $90 million. The yearly pilot would be $152,097.75. And it's supposed to be done by the end of 2028. When we get to the tax and everything, I'll tell you about some other stuff. But the request is that reinvestment zone number 9 be approved.
That should be due, ISD.
Oh, do I see?
Little track man.
Man, we're gonna have to talk.
And it's not on the spreadsheet.
No.
Well, it's because it's new.
I don't have it.
It's brand new. Yeah, we have representatives of the company here that talk to answer the question.
Morning. My name is Stephen Van Dyke with Company Westlake. You may have seen me before with a couple other projects. I do have Joshua here with OCI. He's out there at San Antonio. They are the current developers of the project. I'll let him introduce himself, his company, and the project. This is the first time that we have been here to introduce the project to you guys. So I'll kind of let him take over from here. Yeah, and he can answer any questions you have about the project.
Steve said we are OCI Energy from San Antonio. We've been there a little over a decade now, I believe. I'm Joshua Richardson, and I'm the development engineering manager for them. I handed out just a quick little information packet for the project and the company itself. On the first page there's just a quick overview of OCI Energy. We're San Antonio. Been there since 2012. In Texas, we've developed and constructed over 2,300 megawatts of projects. Already we're expanding to other states, but the main focus is still Texas. The organizational structure run by OCI Holdings. We have a sister company also in Bexar County, Mission Solar. They manufacture all the solar panels and everything. This particular project is just standalone batteries, so there's not much to touch on with them. But they're expanding, and it's a point of pride just manufacturing it here in Texas instead of importing everything. So for the project specifics, We are planning on 200 megawatt hours. We're located 7 miles southeast of Fairfield. The estimate investment would be $500,000 per megawatt hour installed, or $100 million for where we're at right now. I listed a few of the benefits for the community. Just the landowner, of course, gets paid, the increased tax base, and then the indirect benefits of during construction. Everyone working on it has to have somewhere to stay, somewhere to eat, so it helps out the community. The overall benefits, a project like this, I was conservative in my estimate, but it'd be power for about 32,000 homes in Texas. We like our air conditioning, so a little more power per house. OCI, we're extremely proud of our reliability in 2024. Our projects that have already been built were over 99% available. And then in that bad winter storm in 2021, we maintained 96% availability, so there wasn't much failure on there. This project will be no water or air emissions, nor is after construction. And it's not going to be an additional burden on local services or the school district or anything like that. And then I have that little map. We're located off of County Road 471 and 481. We're 7 miles southeast of Fairfield. Mr. Dixon, he said we leased about 37 acres. When it was all done, the construction will probably be under 20 acres for the full project, 25 acres, just depending on the layout. And the project milestones, interconnection, we're underway. We're hoping to be done with ERCOT in August of this year and have all that. Our environmental, we've finished everything, no critical issues, the wetland, no endangered species, we're all good there. The real estate site design, we have everything secured. We're close with our title company. We have all the surveys and the geographic studies done. So our timeline, we're maybe a little hopeful there, would be construction could begin first quarter of 2026, and hopefully take a year. We could be produced, be active in first quarter of 2027. That may be a little hopeful, but I think we could do it. And then just a couple pictures of what a project might look like after it's completed, just in case someone's not familiar with what they look like or how they're laid out.
Yeah, that's the first time we've seen a picture. What it looks like.
Batteries.
Batteries, so what
Yeah. What, would y'all be accessing the property from County 481 or 471?
I think that's still under decision. I know we usually get county road agreements with most counties. I think our design team is still trying to decide which would be the better access route. But it would be one of those county roads.
You have a resident.
I'm a little shocked because I have 62 acres that are bordered by 471 and 481. So this is coming as a surprise to me. And not necessarily a happy one, but a little talk.
But it's the property.
I guess it has to be across the street.
470, no ma'am, it'd be south of your house. Where 471 turns back to the left, 481 keeps going and curves, is that piece of property in that corner. So it'd be behind Miss Bartison's house.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it belongs to somebody named Dixon now?
Mr. Dixon.
That's Mr. Dixon.
Oh, sorry, I didn't understand that part. So it's Burleson's property there?
Yeah, actually, Kent Bill.
Kent Bill.
Miss Bartison's son-in-law.
Oh, gotcha.
I'll say.
So we'll introduce ourselves. If you have any questions, let us know.
Very interesting, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Anything else?
Yeah. I was just saying, any other comments? Still.
If not, we'll close the public. 9:33. Let's close the public hearing. And we'll go to item number 13, discussion and action on the creation and designation of county reinvestment zone made the subject of public hearing as county reinvestment zone number 9. consideration and action on proposed form of tax abatement agreement with Avant Prairie ESS and directive to county judge to send notice of intent to enter into proposed tax abatement agreement with other taxing authority entities having taxing authority with regard to the property.
Yes, the agreement's pretty standard, it's what we're used to seeing. We have, but there are some things that are different. First, we do have, again, upfront payment in there, $10,000 upfront payment. We also have what I call battery energy storage safety covenants. And what they do is just set out some rules for, basic rules, like you'll get together with local first responders and provide at least 4 hours of training of how to fight a battery fire. You'll have a SCADA system that consistently monitors the battery facility. You'll have an operational plan for if something does go wrong, as far as notifying residents, stuff like that. Maintenance requirements, and also requirements for containment. Has to have internal fire suppression capabilities, and then also containment for any sort of toxins. So we do put in there rules that they're going to follow in the first place because they're highly regulated by people other than us. But just to make sure that they understand what is expected of them. And it'd be right at the very end of the agreement, I think, because that's the easiest place for me to put something in usually. No, that's I'm sorry. But it's the end of the tax abatement agreement.
Page 11.
Page 11. I will say these have a pretty good safety record. In the time I've been doing it, I've only had one, had defective batteries in the battery system. And it blew out the end of the container for the fire, the self-contained fire suppression system, completely extinguished in the fire. There was really nothing for anybody to do by the time we got there. It was just the pressure built up for turn. But overall, we seem to have very good safety record.
second.
All in favor, aye. Motion carries. All right, at this time, let's take just a very short, maybe 5-minute break to complete what we need